I knew it. Who's that? Okay. Kuching is there. Okay. UM is there. Janice is there. Okay, I think yeah, it's pretty straightforward lah. Like every one of us over here wish that we have our food EP team lah, right? But that's only a wishful thinking lah. Okay, so there's still much work to do. All right, so let me clear screen. Okay, nice. The statement. I know what kind of team I want to build. Ooh, interesting. I'll go shine some more. Wow. Not that extra. Is it really 100%? That's right. I don't know. Hey, somebody want to say something, is it? Oh, I can't hear. All right. Okay. Okay, cool. Right, so let me just clear the drawing. Okay. I am clear with the values and boundaries I want to drive. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Janice is in between. I think Xiao Tian's also there. Oh, okay. Audrey is up there. Who's the star? How can I see if the star? Okay, there's a yellow dot there from Joey. Oh, I just realized Sharifa just joined. Hi, Sharifa. Right. So yeah, we're just basically annotating. Yeah. Okay. So I think most people is maybe like towards the front part already. Okay. Good. Not bad. Okay. Let me just clear the drawing. Okay. I think the second. Yeah. I think the second last one. I know what to do during LCEB selection process. For those people who have already opened your LCEB selection, then you confirm will know what to do. If no, then you better go consult later. Okay, so things already on the front, makes sense. Okay, Audrey is in between. Okay, so Audrey is moving. Okay, Janice also in the front. Okay, nice. Peer pressure, please don't. Okay, last one. I'm ready to face team conflict. Wow, you're very on, eh? Oh my God, okay. What's happening? Okay. I think most people, those annotated that I understand is trying to answer the question is at the front. Meanwhile, the rest is basically just chanting now. Okay. All right, people. Stop. Okay. I'll clear the screen right now. Okay, thank you. Okay, nice. So just now in Liangjun's session, right? You heard, I think, 6 different kind of stories. And then at the same time, you also did a lot of reflection on your own, right? What kind of value do you want to drive? What is your role? What is the legacy that you want to leave, right? In a way, directly or indirectly, it links back to something, it links back to the 6 LCP roles and responsibilities. So these are actually lifted directly from the LCP application booklet. So I think most of you already here should have some recollection that you have seen this page before. Maybe you don't understand, maybe you do understand. Okay, if you do, good job. And the question just now are actually related to the first, I think is the most important roles and responsibility of LCP, which is team management. How to select and fulfill the team standards towards your B team, right? So I know that just now the session, or maybe throughout the whole day, the session could be like very mind-boggling, right? And this is like the second last session already. Everybody like got kind of tired already. So I figure maybe I can turn the session into a storytelling, right? So not like like storytelling. And then at the same time, letting you guys know what would be the chapters in the story, right? So chapter number 1 will be about team building. Chapter number 2 will be about team formation. And chapter number 3 will be about team dynamic, right? So there'll be 3 chapters. And in each of the chapter, right, how it will go is that I'll share a story, right? And then I'll post some questions for you, so that you have to reflect a bit, and then you have to write it down, right? So those questions are a lot less about reflection, but a lot more about thinking ahead, right? So and after that, after that, I'll throw you guys into breakout room, and then you can do the sharing, right? Maybe we have time for the plenary sharing, maybe we will, right? So I think the key of this session is not to make it like a like lecture kind of session, but we can have a conversation. Like looking also that the amount of people that we have over here is also not that much. So I think it's perfect for conversation. So you know how the session will be like already. Of course, there's an expectation for you, but I think it's only fair for me to give you expectation at the same time for you to have expectation towards me, right? So the first expectation to you is to use notebook, right? The question later would require you to write down something, okay? And it will always also be best if, let's say, you are able to like be fully present and in front of your laptop, okay? So for you to use notebook, right? And then for me is to use graphics so that I can make the session interesting, right? Much more colorful, not so wordy. So second expectation for you is to be engaging, right? So like replying in the chat, or even better, if let's say your surroundings okay, right? Or you just want to open your mic and talk. Yes, I highly encourage that, and I want to listen to your voice as well. Okay, that turned out wrong. Okay, then the expectation for me in this case is to make the story engaging, so that there's a point for you to be engaged. Last expectation for you is to think about the questions. So the question that I'll post later, I'll also make sure that the question is something that's worth thinking. Okay, so I think these are just some very simple expectations, I think. Okay, so let's dive into the first chapter then. So the first chapter is about team building. So the story starts at winter 2021. Winter 2021. Sorry, winter term 2021. Not this winter, which is like past winter. Okay, so it refers to the period of December to January, right? So what happened back then? Okay, so to give an overview of what happens to LC Sunday at winter term 2021 is that this is an operation, right? The left, I think it's both are LVV, but I can't recall which one is OG and which one is IGP. The point over here is operations going on, right? We are at the operation peak, we're at the consideration peak, right? Our GVA seems to be okay, right? If you look at the GVA, it's almost like more than 80%. Finished complete, not yet, because we haven't reached the realization. And then for IGV, also the same thing. So IGV even, I think, overachieved quite a few from apply all the way until like realize also finished. So the conversion is also kind of okay, I would say. So in terms of finance, this is how the revenue stream fulfillment is, right? So I also draw out the summer, okay? So what happened in summer also? So focus on winter. In winter, we did actually manage to get the sales one. And then the GVA, some is very weird, but in the end, what you need to think of is in the end, right? Our GVA achievement is actually 97%. So we actually meet 97% of our revenue goal, right? So far so good, right? Does it look good? Okay, I guess it does. But okay, there's always a but in life, right? And then that's the pain in the butt. The but is our people, right? This is the EBMT team that we managed to have. I think in that very short period of time, we actually managed to gather and then have this like this photo. So what happened to our people? At winter 2021, everybody's burnt out. The greater context is that at that point of time, there has been the whole EBMT, in fact, the whole LCP has been through 2 change management. The first one comes in a rush. The second one also somewhat comes in a rush. If let's say you were in term 2021, you should have felt that also, right? This is not unique to Sunway, I would say. So you know the EBMT is burnt out, right? And because they are burnt out, we actually have a pipeline issue. Again, this situation is not really unique to Sunway because I believe other LC also face somewhat the same thing, right? If let's say you are the EB that is held from term 2021, then you would have known that, okay, the pipeline issue back then is really in crisis because everything is just delayed. Which brings me to the timeline. So this is the timeline that eventually happened in the current term, right? So a bit of context over here is that I myself was elected very late, right? most of the LC already get their elect, or they already have a very clear potential by the end of December, right? By the end of winter 2021. But Sunway is the one that has like opened like 3 rounds of LCP application and then still no potential, no applicant at all, you know. So it's empty. So by the time I was elected, it's very late already. It's already the mid of January. I still remember, I think 19th of January. So yeah, try to imagine that, right? You want to start a term and then the term is like starting like in 14 days and then you are just baru elected, right? Nothing is ready. So of course we face a problem in timeline. And not only that, there's also other external situation that we need to take note of. For example, the national direction. So these are the national direction that was presented for us for the LCP at that point of time. What will happen in the current term? What will happen in this term summer? Right? We're going to focus on LVV, and then ISEM Malaysia is going to host international congress. OGTA, IGTA will be focused on semi-remote internship feature. We're going to work on OGV recovery so that we are able to run OGV again in the current term, which doesn't really turn out. We're going to focus on GB minimums, try to solve our legalities issue. We're going to focus on B2B marketing, right? Where we don't only market to our customers, but also market to corporates where we can get sales one eventually. We want to focus on branding centralization. It's in full swing right back then, right? The direction is already out and then there's already something doing, right? Branding centralization has happened. And entity legalities, that's something that is bugging us for a long time. So at that point of time, I think the most accurate description, most accurate adjective I can use to describe my feeling that time is I'm constipated, right? Just like the guy over here. So constipated because I don't really know what should be the direction. I was frequently questioned what should be my focus product, right? During the whole LCP selection process. And then of course through the selection process as well, they also ask you, hey, so what's your strategy? Yeah? I believe this question would have come very often for you guys as well, especially those that have been through the selection process, right? You always get in the interview, hey, so what's your direction? What's your focus product? What's your strategy? Right? So those are the questions that bugs me. But the one question that I don't have an answer to is, what kind of team would I want to build? And in fact, that is the question that I started to think more and more often, right? So what kind of team do I want to build? So I know that in order for us to weather through, in order for us to take into account the things that have happened, and for us to address the things that's coming, I know that my team needs to be agile, right? My team needs to be agile and flexible to know that to find different ways for us to tackle the same problem. We can be agile. Meanwhile, we don't forget what's our code. We don't forget what is the purpose that drives us in the first place. I think the team needs to be transparent, right? Because a lot of the issue that happens with the people problem is because the information doesn't really flow through different departments, and the information.
Can I lagi? Oh,
I thought it's me. Okay.
MC office.
Sorry. Is it not connected? Yeah, 3 hours already.
Can somebody let me know? So thank you. So I know that my team needs to be agile, all right, in order for me to for us to weather through the changes that is coming, right? To constantly seek for ways to improve. At the same time, let's not forget the reason that got us started in the first place. I know that my team needs to be transparent, right? In order for information to flow. In fact, that is one of the reasons why we face a pipeline crisis in the first place, is because information doesn't really flow, right? It doesn't flow from department to department. It doesn't flow from EV, it doesn't flow from MT, it doesn't flow towards the whole LC, right? That's why a lot of people don't really know what does going higher role means. Last, I need a team that the team needs to be authentic, right? They need to know, they need to be comfortable and then to voice their truest voices, right? And at that point of time, I only have an idea of what a team needs. And it's only after I go through LTC where I get to talk to different people, then only we get to consolidate what are the team values that I want to drive, right? So the first value is agility. second value is home, right? So it's somewhat related to transparent, somewhat related to the thing that I need to see in the team. And then I need the team to be authentic, right? So authenticity is the last value. So these are the three team values that LC Sunway as a whole practices a lot, right? So if let's say you're from LC Sunway, then you try to ask them what's AHA, confirm they know. Maybe they only know the hashtag stuff, right? But at least they understand that these are the three things that's consistently driven. So this three actually stems from the thing that I need. So right now, I share my story, right? So it's time for you to do something, right? You should have your notebook open already. So something fun for you to do, go and look at your application booklet, right? For those who already apply, I think most of you here have somewhat already applied, or maybe at least in the process of making application booklet. Look at it, right? Try to ask yourself these three questions. How is my LC doing now? What is my direction? Okay. What are the top three values that is needed in my team and why? Okay. So maybe I can give you guys some time, maybe one song. And then after that, I'll send you guys into breakout room so that you can do the sharing, right? You can share to each other. Okay. So let me try to find out how to play songs in. Yeah, I want to play song, YouTube.
Let 'em up, tell me where you were, tell me where you were. Summer nights, bright lights, and the shooting star, they break my heart. Calling you now, but you're not picking up. Shadows are close, if that's still enough. Let 'em march, baby, in the dark. Show me where you were. Oh, love, how I miss you every single day when I see you on those streets. Oh, love, tell me there's a river I can swim that will bring you back to me. Cause I don't know how to love someone else. I don't know how to forget your face. Oh, love, God, I miss you every single day now, so far away. It's breaking me, losing you. We were far from perfect, but we were worth it. Too many fights, and we cried, but never said we're sorry. Stop saying you love me, calling me now, but I can't pick up. Your shadows still close, and I'm still alive. The summer's over now, but somehow it still break my heart. We could have had this time. Oh, love, how I miss you every single day when I see you on those streets. Oh, love, tell me there's a river I can swim that will bring you back to me. Cause I don't know how to love someone else. I don't know how to forget your face. Oh, love, God, I miss you every single day now, so far away. So far away. Oh, love, how I miss you every single day when I see you on those streets. Oh, love, tell me there's a river I can swim that will bring you back to me. Cause I don't know how to love someone else. I don't know how to forget your face. Oh, love, God, I miss you every single day now, so far away.
But you'll never be alone. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Not trying to be in there, not trying to be cool, just trying to be in this. Tell me, are you too? Can you feel where the wind is? Can you feel it through all of the windows inside this room? 'Cause I wanna touch you, baby, and I wanna feel you too. And I wanna see the sunrise and your sins, just me and you. Light it up on the run. Let's make love tonight.
Julie, are you there?
But you'll never be alone. I'll be with you from
Yeah, I'm
dusk
here.
till dawn. I'll be with you from
Okay.
dusk till
The
dawn. Baby, I'm
I
ready.
think she's there.
I'll hold you when things go wrong.
Is the breakdown ready?
With you from
Yeah, so I prepare the room now.
Yeah, breakdown ready. Okay, cool. So I think I can give you guys 5 minutes, okay? And then you guys can I think the breakdown will be by pairing now, okay? So I think we can open the breakdown right now. Yeah. So I see you guys in 5 minutes. So what happened in January? Okay, thank you, Zoom lady. So what happened in January 2021 is that I got elected, right? In 19th of January, 1 week after, I immediately released the LCP application booklet. 6th round over here is because we actually run 6th round we actually open 6th round, and then it's only by the 6th round we only could get like some of the full EB team. Yeah. So this is the structure that I propose as for my EB, right? So just like any other structure that you are familiar with, there's always a VP IGV, there's always an FLPM, there's always OGV, and there's also OGTA, which Sunway has been running for, I think, a few terms. Of course, VPPD, and also I want to run AWA, right? So VP AWA. So yeah, I also go ahead and define the director level, right? The key over here is that I'm planning to get 7 EB. So recalling that in the first chapter, right, some may sort of have a problem with our people, right, our pipeline crisis. So the round is open right now, but who's applying, right? The common question that we get is, what does an EB actually do, right? What does it actually mean to be an EB? What does it actually mean to be the guardian of the LC? So to tackle that, the best way for me to do is to let them know what does an EB do, right? So there's this period of time where I have a very frequent O2Os with like random people. If you just want to talk, I'll just schedule a time with you. And it started off with a funny name like Maggie with Fong. I think it's one of the EB that call it like Maggie with Fong because I was eating Maggie in one of the O2O. Eventually it becomes somewhat a brand. And then somebody actually asked me, hey, do you the point of the O2O is in the O2O, we had long conversation with different people with different faces here, right? Even if they are not intending to apply for EB, but they are considering whether they want to reterm, I'm also open for O2O like that. Why am I open to that? Is because I see O2O among all other initiatives that I try to run is the way for me to drive the direction, to communicate direction that I want, and most importantly, the values that I want to drive, right? So in the end, okay, after like another hundreds of O2Os, no lah, okay, after a lot of O2Os, right, we finally get people to apply, right? So these people are eventually the applicant that reaches the final stage and eventually become the EB. So those are faces over here. I'll introduce you one by one. So Wei Han is my current VP PM right now. So Wei Han has a very rich EST experience. So she jumped from EST to EST, I think 2 or 3 terms of EST. She has experience in IGV, OGV, and even PM. He's efficient and very straightforward when doing stuff, but he's cold by nature. Cold, why? It means that he's not naturally not naturally comfortable in forming connection. So he's somebody that's very data driven. Jia Hui is proficient in marketing. In fact, she actually has a side gig on like doing marketing for another company, right? She's warm and she's easily connect with people, but she's a newbie, right? With no team management experience. She has always been a newbie ever since she joined. Has always been a member. Yeah. Brian is IGV director, right? He has one whole year of experience running IGV. He's tried to, I think, run two projects before, and then he has a very decent understanding towards FL, right? But he's impatient by nature, and then he's impatient, of course, in driving performance. Elaine is very fresh, right? Fresh as in she just joined in the winter, right? She's an IG some more. Okay, she's proactive and outgoing, but she has a difficulty in making a firm stand. Yubeta is very fresh as well. She's always been an IG member. She's driven and have high energy, right? If you know who's Jai, right? I would bet Yubeta's energy can compete with her. So same as Xiaohui, she's a newbie, right? With I think close to no team management experience as well. And last is Alicia. So Alicia has been here, I think, is the longest, I would say, right? She has experience in PD and also IGP. She's naturally professional, and then she's very externally driven, meaning to say she's aware of what's happening out there. The thing is, she has very high self-doubt, right? She doubts every move that she makes. So these 6 people, of course, they apply for the function they want. And of course, by only listening to their Isaac experience, their strength, and also their weakness, maybe you already have an idea on what kind of profile suits this person, right? Okay, so maybe you can think about this. Just now you look at application booklet, right? Right now, go and look at your proposed EV structure. I think for those LC that's already opened your application, you should have your EV structure approved already. For some LCs who is in the process of preparing it, you can just go ahead and open it. So try to ask yourself this 3 questions. What are the potentials? What are the potentials I have? Who are the potentials I have? What is their Isaac experience, their strengths, and also their weaknesses? Okay, maybe you can listen down. It doesn't have to be very detailed, but at least you think through it. How will I structure them? And why would I structure them like that? Okay. So now is the space where you try to mix and match, right? Who are the people you have, and then try to match them to the profile. So same thing. I'll give you maybe around 1 song or maybe 1.5 songs, and after that, I'll show you guys in the breakout room for you to share. Okay, so I'll play the song right now.
Dusk till dawn, I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. Like a jacket, so do yours. We would roll down the rapids to find a wave that fits. Can you feel where the wind is? Can you feel it through all of the windows inside this room? 'Cause I wanna touch you, baby, and I wanna feel you too. And I wanna see the sunrise and your sins, just me and you. Light it up on the run. Let's make love tonight. But you'll never be alone. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. I'll hold you when things go wrong. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. Could give love to your body, so only you that can stop it. Gonna give love to your body, yeah. Ooh, but you'll never be alone. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. I'll hold you when things go wrong. I will. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. Broken all the pieces I've been lately, focusing the things that didn't make no sense. Guess that growing up was never meant to be easy. Yeah, I got you doing everything sideways. Didn't really care about how everyone felt. Hiding my emotions down in different ashtrays. Oh, but what is lost ain't gone. Try to fight back what I've become. Yeah, I got bruises. If I could restart, I ain't gonna hide these beautiful scars. I've been going way too hard on myself. Guess that is the reason that I'm feeling like hell. But I wouldn't change if I could restart. I ain't gonna hide these beautiful scars. I went down a road only got me nowhere. I've seen every corner, every inch of these.
Okay, time's up already. Then I think Julie can open the breakout room. Okay.
Place.
So Jiahui, thank you, Zoom lady. So Jiahui is a newbie, right? With no team management experience. So you'll figure it's probably very risky for her to take a big department, especially those that requires like a consistent performance, right? Because she don't really know how to manage a team before. But I see another value in Jiahui, which is she's very purpose driven. Precisely because of this value, I see her potential to be able to align a big function, no matter how complicated it is. So I assign her to become VP OGB. For Brian, he's somebody impatient, right? That's very performance driven. Okay, this can be a good profile, especially when she has this understanding about FL to be VP FL, right? But it is precisely because she is from IGB that she understands the continuity, and he has shown the ability to be able to glue people together, even across hectic operation, that I see him being suitable for VP IGB. So Elaine is fresh as well, right? She literally joined, I think, around 5 months, and then she wanna apply for. Actually, technically she applied for HOD. Yeah. So you might think that okay, maybe a fresh member experience, right? Probably very hard for her to know what does the back office do. But that is precisely why I asked her to do. I assigned her to HOD FL to oversee back office. The reason is because I see her being resilient and her willingness to climb the learning curve. Although it's a very steep curve for her to climb, she'd gone through the whole winter climbing the curve. But because of the resilience, I trust that she's able to do it. In fact, she did it. She did actually do it, right? Yvetta is somebody also is a newbie with no team management experience, right? I assigned her to VP AWA because she's disruptive enough, right? She's disruptive with her energy. At the same time, she's resilient enough to pilot a very dynamic function. AWA at that point of time requires innovation. It requires a lot of trial and error. And I see Yvetta precisely because of her energy and also the way she works, she's able to run this AWA function. Okay? Last one is Alicia. So Alicia is slow and steady, right? You might think that maybe somebody that's slow in catching up might have a problem matching the value proposition, but I see precisely because of her ability to be slow, because she's able to be steady. That means she understands the value proposition. That means she's willing to take the extra step to match the value proposition, to understand, to see how the value aligns with Isaac and also the partner. So the lesson from this chapter number 2 here is when you're forming a team, always focus on potential over competency, right? Because any Isaac experience is a learning experience, and your EVs are here because they are ready. At the same time, because they're not ready. Your EVs are here because they have passed the selection process. At the same time, there's much more for them to learn. Why not use this EB experience as an experience for them to learn? Right. Okay, so that's chapter 2. So let's move on to chapter 3. Right. So chapter 3 is about team dynamic. So the time right now is mid-February 2021. Right. So I've already got my EB team, everybody in their place already allocated function. Everybody like, okay, cool. So yeah, this is the team. Okay, so back then Brian is still about why, because he actually shaved his hair because he want to run a crowdfunding. Yeah, eventually, yeah, they actually did it just like Sunday, but that's not the point. Okay, so I've got my EB team right now, right? But how will the team dynamic be like, right? I barely know this bunch of people. Some of them I worked with them for quite some time. Some of them I just know them. I just got to know them. Say for example, I just got to know Elaine, right? Like five months ago, right? How would the dynamic be like? So a useful way for us to understand how different people work and communicate with each other is by our old friend, right? DISC. So DISC evaluates a person's communication, also working style. It puts on an axis, right? Whether you are task-driven or people-driven, whether you are high energy or directly or directive, or you are low energy or indirective. Like how do you manage your energy, right? So the word DISC comes from the keyword over here, dominant, which is somebody that is result-driven, internalized feelings, and they are formal. They do things very fast, right? These kind of people, they don't really talk about feeling. I is from influence, where these kind of people, they are driven by recognition, right? They externalize their feeling very well. Somebody is very yellow over here, you might heard that they're usually very noisy, yeah. And then they're informal. They're also thinking very fast, right? S is steadiness, right? They are driven by others, and they also externalize feeling, but at the same time, they consider, meaning to say they're willing to slow down their pace and think about others, right? They're steady. Last one is C, conscientiousness, or more commonly known as analytic. So these kind of people, that are accuracy driven. They're usually detail oriented. They internalize feeling. They don't really tell much other than the data itself, and they usually work in a very formal style. They want things to be like very tidy. Yeah. So DISC, right? So how does my EB fare in DISC? Okay. So Wei Han, right? The VVPM is actually dominant, right? Red. Jia Hui is steady, right? Green color. Brian is red, right? Dominant. Elaine is green, right? Steady. Yoveta is my VP Ewa is influence. Is yellow, right? She's very yellow, high energy. And Alicia is also steady, right? Also green. So maybe like it's very hard for you to catch like each of them. So let's try to put them on a graph right now. So this is how the graph turns out, right? I have among my ED team, there's 2 people that's dominant, 3 people who are steady, 1 people who are very, very yellow, very expressive, very influenced, right? But at the same time, don't forget, I myself is also part of the team. So I happens to be very conscientiousness, right? So you can see that, okay, we actually have people in different color. So there's another way for us to understand the DISC, right? The colors that is opposite to each other. Say for example, green and red, they're opposite, right? On diagonal, meaning to say, right, this type of people, their working and communication styles are directly opposite of each other. Blue and yellow is also directly opposite of each other, right? So as you can see right now, okay, I have 5 of my EB actually have an opposite communication and working style, right? Specifically, I bring your attention to Brian, right? The one in the red wearing the shades one. He is VP IGV, right? All of his synergy partner are in green, directly opposite of him, right? Jia Hui, the one having a love, is a VP OGB. Alicia, the one posing very cool in the middle, is VP PD, his closest synergy partner. And the last one they work in a directly conflicting way, right? So you might see that, okay, that's actually something that could happen. Indeed, something did actually happen, right? The team conflicts. So before we move on, here's a question for you right now. So recall your experience, right? Working or talking to potentials. If let's say you happen to already receive the application, or you manage to find their DISC, right? Okay, go ahead, fine. Try to understand, try to recall how does these people work and talk to each other, right? And ask yourself this: what are their communication styles? What are their working styles, right? The potential that they list down in the note just now. What are the communication? What are their working styles? Who will work well together? Which of the pair will gel well together? And what are the potential conflicts that you will see from different people working together, right? So same thing, I'll give you maybe around 3 minutes, right, for you to write it down, and then we'll go into the last sharing space.
I know that your love is gone. Don't go tonight. Just stay here one more time. Remind me what it's like. Oh, and let's fall in love one more time. I need you now by my side. It tears me up when you turn me down. I'm begging, please, just stick around. I'm sorry, don't leave me. I want you here with me. I know that your love is gone. I can't breathe, I'm so weak. I know that this ain't easy. Don't tell me that your love is gone. That your love is gone. So look me in the eyes, tell me what you see. Perfect paradise, tearing at the seams. I wish I could escape. I don't wanna fake it. Wish I could erase it, make you hard believe, but I'm a bad liar. Bad liar. Now you know. Now you know that I'm a bad liar. Bad liar. Now you know. You're free to go. Oh, hush my fear, it's been difficult years, and terrorists don't prey on innocent victim. Trust me, darling, trust me, darling. It's been a loveless years. I'm a man of three fears: integrity, faith, and crocodile tears. Oh, trust me, darling, trust me, darling. So look me in the eyes, tell me what you see.
Okay, 3 minutes up already. I think we can open the breakout room. Okay, breakout open. Okay. Julie, you want to pause the recording? Okay, so hi everyone, welcome back. Okay, so right now, okay, I think this is actually the last sharing space already, right? So maybe I won't point people, but I'll open the space, right? Maybe we can, I think we can afford one sharing. Whoever, like, would you like to share? Then you can just open your mic. Anybody?
Okay, I think I go lah.
Okay.
Okay. Basically, I think we have a lot of similarity. Okay, basically, the breakout room, I am partnered with Xiao Tian lah. Okay, you see the red also know already. Okay, then okay. So basically, I would say we have a lot of similarities, or rather, like I think the idealistic perception that we want or we wish to see in the team is always like inclusivity. We want to drive everything as one, like how we're able to actually be purpose driven and all. But then like at the end of the day, it's like it all goes back to how we actually will things and also what we actually wish to communicate towards the potentials that we have lah. So although we actually have potentials in mind, but we need to actually be aware that there will be surprises along the way, and also surprises on the way, and also you'll never know what kind of conflict that you might actually be getting, and also it's more towards agility and also how you're able to really manage the team well, and also how it actually complements your weaknesses, and also how you're able to really work well in a team as well. So that's all from me.
Thank you, Janice. Okay, that's very nice. I think Janice actually did mention something important, which I think is actually the lesson, which is complement, right? So when we are trying to see if people are able to work well together, the thing that we see is not only like whether or not are they the same type of people, but at the same time we might also need to consider whether or not are they able to complement one another. Strength complement weakness, strength complement another weakness. Yeah. So okay, so maybe I can let you know what happens in my ED team. So complement and compensate is like just like what Jenny says. So maybe one of the example I see how complement and compensate happens is actually between Brian, the VP IGB, and also my VP FL, right? So one of the things I actually do to let them see each other's value, to let them understand how they can compensate each other, is by throwing them into handling one session together. So this is a session from LC Visit. It's about like I think the finance situation in I think Sunway lah. So I throw Brian and Elaine, purposely assign them together, and then in the end it actually turned out well. What I realized is that Brian actually play his strength. Likewise, Elaine play her strength as well. So Brian is somebody that's very data and very data driven, right? And then he's somebody that's very efficient. So he's the one that handles the activity part, which requires like big brain kind of like coordination. Elaine is somebody that is very good at storytelling. So she has a lot of story to tell, right? And then she's very generous to share. So she's the one that handles the storytelling part, especially the debrief part, right? So these two people actually have a big conflict towards the middle of the term, but right now they're actually learning to work together one another. And that is the point, right? To learn from each other. That is the point of having a dynamic team. So the lesson from chapter 3 is when managing a team dynamic, right? Always emphasize that we are here to grow together, right? It's always easy, let's say for me, to have a team of 7 phones, right? So it will be very easy for me to manage, right? Because everybody understands the world, everybody communicate everybody communicate the same way, right? It's definitely easier to manage one type of people, but at the same time, it also exposes your team to risk where your team is not able to handle, or when your team is not able to be flexible enough to think of different perspectives whenever situation happens, right? So emphasize that different people bring different value into this team, right? The objective over here is not to make everybody one single type of leader, but is to let them see how they themselves can be the leader of their own and complement and from one another, right? So yeah, that's basically how the team dynamic work, and we have now reached the epilogue, right? So of the story, yeah. So everybody, I think especially the LCP elects right now, maybe you guys would have this underlying fear, whether or not I'm able to build a team that I want, right? Maybe whether or not am I able to build a dream team, just like how Avengers, the mightiest hero, 6 people over here is able to handle, take care of the whole like alien invasion, right? Am I able to build a team that's able to take care of the whole term, right? Maybe you've heard this before. The reality set is that a dream team is not born, it is built, right? And team building doesn't have to be passive. It doesn't have to be you there waiting for people to apply. It doesn't have to be you there waiting for people to grow and discover themselves. It can be active one. There are instances that you can leverage on. And then there's also instances where you can drive the things that you want to see, right? So coming back again, I share, I think, 3 pieces of stories. And then those 3 stories are closely knitted with my EB team. So why do I actually care for my EB team so much, right? Other than my role as LCP, other than the team standards tracker that asked me to do the team standards every week, why do I care so much? Well, one of the reasons is because I truly believe in this statement, in the refresh Isaac way, right? I myself is actually personally very happy to see the refresh Isaac way because it sort of brings back the core of what leadership is. Specifically, this sentence: we empower young people to become value-driven leaders. We don't want to just build leaders. We don't want to just build CEOs that is good in executive part, but we want to build them we want to build leaders who is value-driven, right? And most of the time, right, when you want to be a leader, it means that you have to hold some value firm. You have to be strict on the things that you want to see, the boundaries that you want to drive. Be very strict, right? Becoming a leader also means that you have to look into the potential over the competency. Not only you yourself see the potential, you need to let everybody see that the potential that you see in them, so that they themselves can explore themselves. As an LCP, as a leader, you have to drive the point of growing together, right? Sometimes it means that you have to find a way to accept, to discover their potential and accept their weaknesses, and try to love them as best as you can, right? Love them in a way that sometimes, knowing that in order for them to grow, they need to go through some difficult experience. In order for them to grow, they need to learn certain lessons, right? So being an LCP or team building in general is a lot like parenting, right? There's this person that willingly comes under you, willingly allows you to lead, and willingly put trust in your hand. At the same time, he also willingly follow the coaching that you give, right? So it's not like parenting. You have to take care of this person every single time, right? To be honest, this is the biggest lesson I learned in team building, right? There's no one day where I stop thinking about my EB, because every single time there's bound to be something that happens. Just like what Jenny says, conflict can happen anytime with anybody, right? That's the nature of human. But the beauty of it is also it has the potential that remains untapped. So what you write down in the note right now, in your notebook in front of you right now, I hope you did write down, are actually something that you can start with, right? So we have come to the end of my story, but the notebook in front of you can serve as a preface to your own story. So it's time for you to write your own story right now, right? And then at the same time, it's also time for us to end this session because it's about to go to check out, the evening plenary, right? So I guess that's all for now. If you have any more questions, you can feel free to come to me, right? You can always have a Maggie with phone, yeah. Okay, yeah, so I guess I can pass the space to either EJ or Julie. Oh, let me, okay.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me, right? So, yeah, thanks, Gokfong, for the session. So right now we will have a 5 minutes break until 5:30.